There is a level of discipline that makes people uncomfortable around you. Not impressed, not inspired, uncomfortable, because it signals something dangerous. Consistency without emotion, action without negotiation, progress without motivation. And today, you'll learn exactly how to build it. Have you ever seen that person who never fails? They wake up at the same time, they do the same things, they don't stop. Everyone else quits after 3 weeks, they keep going. Everyone else makes excuses, they show up, and what do people say about them? Man, that's not normal. They're right. There's an ancient system created by Zen monks in Japan that produces this exact kind of terrifying consistency. It's called Gyoji, a practice that continues by itself. And once you understand how it works, you will stop missing goals permanently. But there's a catch. This system is not for everyone, because it forces you to kill a part of yourself you didn't even know existed. Before I explain it, do the usual thing. Subscribe, like the video, comment the habit you want to adopt for the next 90 days. Not for the algorithm. For commitment. Let me tell you a story. This is Rafael. Smart guy, successful programmer, 6-figure income, nice apartment. On paper, he was winning. But every night around 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling, he knew the truth. He couldn't keep a habit for more than 2 weeks. Gym, gone after 2 months. Meditation, 1 week. Reading, 3 pages, then the book dies in a drawer. Learning a language, 3 Duolingo lessons, then, I don't have time. Same pattern every time. Monday, motivation overload. Wakes up at 5 a.m. feeling unstoppable. Sees the future version of himself clearly. Wednesday, negotiation begins. I'm tired. I'll start at 6. 1 hour won't matter. I'll make up for it tomorrow. Friday, total surrender. Alarm goes off. He turns it off automatically. Habit dead. Dream evaporated. Sunday night, hope. Monday I'll restart. This time it's different. It never was. Rafael tried everything. Habit tracking apps, colorful streaks, badges that make you feel productive without doing anything. Reward systems didn't work. He never reached the reward. Accountability partners. They stopped checking. He kept disappointing them. Motivational videos, 48 hours of hype, then nothing. He read every book. Atomic Habits, The Power of Habit. Deep Work, The 5 a.m. Club. He knew the science. Dopamine loops, habit stacking, implementation intentions. Information wasn't the problem. The problem was invisible. Rafael was fighting something he couldn't see. Your brain is not designed to help you grow. It's designed to keep you alive. And in your brain's ancient operating system, survival means one thing: save energy, avoid risk. Every new habit is interpreted as a threat. Why wake up at 5 a.m. when you could sleep and conserve energy? Why go to the gym when the couch is safe? Why read when scrolling requires 0 effort? Your current habits are not bad habits to your brain. They are survival mechanisms. Comfortable, safe, automatic. When you rely on willpower, you're asking a tiny conscious mind to fight millions of years of evolution. You lose. Every time. The real question isn't if you'll quit, it's when. Rafael realized he needed something different, something that didn't rely on motivation, something permanent. At 2 a.m. one night, unable to sleep after another failed morning routine, he watched a video about Zen monks. They wake up every day at 3:30 a.m. They've done this since the year 1200. Wars, earthquakes, plagues, the bell rings. They wake up, no negotiation, no excuses. Rafael thought, what do they know that I don't? The answer destroyed his old identity. In Zen temples, there is one rule that changes everything once you understand it. Gyoji means continuous practice without interruption. Without interruption. Let that sink in. Since the year 1200, every single day at 3:30 a.m., a bell rings at the Gyoji temple. And without exception, monks wake up. Not 3:25. Not 3:35. 3:30. For over 800 years. Do you know what never happens there? No monk lies in bed thinking, I'm tired today, I'll skip practice. One day doesn't matter. That question doesn't exist. Not because they have superhuman discipline, because they understand something about commitment you don't. Your brain categorizes commitments into 2 types: reversible, irreversible. Reversible commitments create daily negotiations. Should I train today? Maybe tomorrow. One day won't matter. Your brain runs cost-benefit analysis every time. Comfort wins. Irreversible commitments simply happen. You don't wake up asking if you're married today. You don't take a day off from being a parent. Identity changed. Decision ended. When a monk takes vows publicly, shaves his head, wears the robe, speaks the words in front of witnesses, he doesn't try. He becomes. Identity shifts. Negotiation ends. Rafael stopped making private promises. He made a public declaration. On paper. Physical paper. I am someone who meditates 20 minutes every day at 5 a.m. for 90 consecutive days. Not I will try. Not my goal is. I am. He signed it, dated it, posted it everywhere. Social media, family group chat, his girlfriend, his coworkers, his boss, even his barista. People thought he was crazy. Perfect. Because now quitting hurt more than continuing. On day 3, exhausted, his alarm rang. Every excuse appeared. Logical. Reasonable. But the thought of public failure was unbearable. So he got up and sat. That's when everything changed. Now comes the part everyone skips. Not because it's complex, but because it removes excuses. GUIJI doesn't work because of monks. It works because of structure. And structure beats motivation every time. Here are the 4 non-negotiable rules that turn effort into inevitability. Miss 1, and you're back to willpower. Miss 2, and the system collapses. Apply all 4, and quitting becomes harder than continuing. Rule number 1. The time is not flexible. Ever. Most people fail before they start because they choose convenient times. I'll work out sometime in the morning. I'll meditate when I have time. I'll read before bed. That's not a schedule. That's a suggestion. And suggestions get ignored. GUIJI demands a fixed, sacred time. Same hour, same minute, every day. Not because mornings are magical, not because discipline lives at 5 a.m., but because precision kills negotiation. When something happens at some point, your brain asks questions. When something happens at 5 a.m., there are no questions. The bell rings. Action follows. That's it. Zen monks don't wake up early. They wake up exactly 3:30 a.m., not 3:28, not 3:35. Precision removes choice, and choice is the enemy. Here's the brutal truth. Every habit you failed died during a conversation in your head. Maybe later. Just today. I'll make it up tomorrow. Fixed time eliminates the conversation. You don't decide to practice. You obey the clock. Pick a time that you can defend for 90 days. Not the perfect time, the repeatable time. And once chosen, treat it like gravity. You don't argue with gravity, you adapt to it. If you miss once, the system cracks. If you move the time, the system weakens. No flexibility. That's the point. Rule number 2, the form never changes. Most people sabotage themselves by optimizing too early. They want variety, they want novelty, they want freedom. Freedom is what killed their last 10 habits. GUIJI demands a fixed form, same action, same order, same duration, every day. No upgrades, no experimentation, no creativity, at least not at first. Zen monks don't wake up and ask, should we meditate differently today? There is one form, and the form is law. Why? Because variation reintroduces thinking, and thinking creates friction. Friction creates resistance. Resistance creates quitting. Your goal is not growth. Your goal is automation. Growth comes later. For Rafael, meditation wasn't. Sometimes breathing, sometimes visualization, sometimes silence. It was sit straight back 20 minutes, eyes half open. Focus on breath every day, even when it felt pointless. Especially when it felt pointless. Consistency is born from boredom. If your habit is interesting, you'll quit when it stops being interesting. If your habit is boring, it becomes invisible. Invisible habits don't get resisted. Pick a form so simple it feels stupid. That's how you know it will survive. Rule number 3, minimum viable practice. This is critical. This is where most discipline systems lie to you. They tell you to push harder, to be intense, to go all in. That works for exactly 3 weeks. Then life hits. GUIJI is built for bad days, not good ones. Your practice must have a non-negotiable minimum so small that skipping feels absurd. Not optimal. Not impressive. Embarrassingly small. For Rafael, it was this. If everything went wrong, if he slept badly, if his day exploded, he still had to sit for 2 minutes. That's it. 2 minutes. He could do more. Often he did. But 2 minutes was the law. Why does this work? Because the enemy is not low performance. The enemy is interruption. The brain doesn't care if you practiced well, it only records. Did the chain break? Once the chain breaks, restarting is painful. So GUIJI protects the chain at all costs. Miss intensity. Never miss continuity. You're not building a habit, you're building an unbroken identity. An identity doesn't require perfection, it requires presence. 2 minutes keeps the identity alive. Rule number 4, remove all escape routes. This is the rule people hate, because it removes their emergency exits. GUIJI requires pre-commitment. You must decide in advance what happens when things go wrong, because they will. You will be tired, you will be sick, you will travel, you will have bad days. If the rule isn't decided beforehand, your future self will negotiate you into quitting. Zen monks don't decide daily. The decision was made once, centuries ago. Your version must be smaller, but just as final. Ask yourself, what happens if I'm tired? I still do the minimum. What if I'm traveling? I do it wherever I am. What if I'm sick? Minimum viable practice. What if I miss accidentally? I restart immediately, same day if possible. No punishment. No guilt spirals. Just continuation. The rule is simple. Never miss twice. 1 miss is an accident. 2 is a pattern. And patterns become identities. What actually changes? This is the payoff. After 7 days, nothing magical happens. After 14 days, you'll doubt the system. After 21 days, motivation disappears completely, and that's when GUIJI activates. Because now you're no longer driven by desire. You're driven by inertia. Stopping feels wrong. Skipping feels strange. Not practicing feels like forgetting to brush your teeth. Rafael noticed something unexpected. He stopped thinking about meditation. It just happened. No drama, no hype, just action. Then something scary happened. Other habits started forming automatically. Gym sessions became easier. Reading returned. Sleep improved. Not because he forced them, but because his identity shifted. He wasn't trying to improve his life. He was someone who does what he said he would do. That identity leaks into everything. Why this feels uncomfortable, and why it works. GUIJI strips you of a comforting illusion. The illusion that you're free. Most people want freedom of choice, but freedom of choice is why they stay stuck. GUIJI gives you freedom from choice, and that feels restrictive, until you realize it's the only thing that works. Discipline is not intensity, it's inevitability. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. And GUIJI is a system designed so low that you cannot fall below it. Your turn. No motivation required. If you want to use this, do it properly. Right now. Pick one habit. Choose a fixed time. Define a fixed form. Set a minimum so small it feels ridiculous. Write it down. Make it public. Not for attention, for pressure. Pressure creates permanence. Do this for 90 days. Not to become disciplined, but to become someone who doesn't negotiate with themselves. Because once negotiation ends, progress becomes automatic. And that's the real power of GUIJI. Not self-control, not motivation, no more internal debate, just action. Every day, without interruption.